So, today I'm going to talk to you about why some of the stuff you are doing might not actually be productive. And you may be thinking, but I'm doing stuff, so doesn't that make me productive? But the thing I'm learning is that just because you're doing something doesn't mean that it's productive. So, today I'm going to talk to you about sort of what my new understanding of productivity is, and maybe this can help you out and being just a little bit more productive. So, before we begin, I actually just started a new school community and it's free and it's a place where you can learn a little bit more about managing your free time and spending it on purposeful work. So, you can check out that link in the description if you'd be interested in that. So, what I'm learning is that just because you're doing something doesn't mean that it's productive. For example, just because I'm recording this video doesn't necessarily mean it's productive. Just because I took out the trash doesn't mean that was productive. So, yes, it does feel good to be doing something at all times. And it does feel good to keep our minds busy. But what I'm learning, and it's a hard truth, but most of the things that I've been doing are unproductive. And I convince myself that it's productive. It's like, oh, I'm scrolling through the comments or I'm checking messages and I'm doing this and I'm doing this. Or I'm scrolling through these communities and learning. But what I'm realizing is that there has to be a purpose on why you're doing it. And if the purpose is I'm doing it because I'm doing something, and something is better than nothing, then that's not a good reason. And that's what I used to think, like I'm doing something, so that means that I'm being productive, right? But what I'm starting to understand is that you should be doing something, but it should be purposeful. There should be a specific reason that you're doing it. And if it always relates back to this overarching like idea, I'm doing it because I'm afraid of not doing something, then you're doing it because you're afraid. Instead, you should be doing it because it's for a specific reason, such as I'm doing this activity because it fits in with my goal. And if we could change that like thinking from I'm doing this because I should always be doing something, and that's what I was taught, that I should always be doing something at all times. If we can change our thinking from that to I'm doing this because this is the highest priority thing to be doing, and this is the thing that is going to be moving me forward the most in my life. And it's a big transition from this thought and this type of thinking to this type of thinking. But the more we can like do things and be consciously choosing them and there being a reason for why we do it, the better. And we should be choosing the reason, like the fear and the reason shouldn't be dictating our action. So hopefully that makes sense. And what kind of inspired me to make this video is I was watching a Sam Ovens video, and he's a pretty successful entrepreneur, and his view on productivity is pretty intense. And he gave an example of Michael Phelps, and his routine is he wakes up and he swims, and that's it. He's not doing this other stuff. He's not going to clean his room. He's not checking his messages. He's not doing a lot of this other stuff. He wakes up and he swims. And that's productive. The other stuff, if he just started doing and he was like, well, I'm doing this because I'm doing something. I'm doing this because I'm supposed to be doing something at all times. Then how much progress would he actually be making at the swimming? So hopefully that example makes sense, but that's what I'm trying to apply to my life. I'm trying to get rid of, and I know it sounds kind of harsh, like get rid of, but I'm trying to eliminate as many things that are unnecessary and don't align with my goal. And my goal is to grow my online business. So if I can start to become aware of the things that are not aligning with growing my online business, then my energy will be saved and my focus will be more so on the goal. And think of how much progress I can make if I have that mindset as opposed to like dividing my focus and energy between all the other things. So another way another way you can think about this is I'm going to try to just explain this. And again, I got this inspiration from a Sam Ovens video, and he explained it like this. So imagine there's like a circle, and that circle is you, and there's lines around the circle, and each line is something that you want to improve on. You know, there's a little line for relationships. There's a little line for growing a business. There's a little line for working on your health. There's a little line in all these different areas of your life. And like a different perspective is that if you if you give your energy to all these different areas, the line is only going to grow just a little bit in each of these areas. So for example, like if you if you have your attention on all these different areas of your life, then the line is only going to grow, say, like an inch or two in each area because that's your focus. You put your energy and attention on one area, which is like business, and that goes like 2 inches. You put your energy and focus on another area, like relationships, that goes like 2 inches. And you put your energy and attention on another area, like health, that goes like 2 inches. And so you have this circle with all these different lines on it, and the lines are only like 2 inches long. what a different perspective he gave me was that, like, let's take a look at another circle. And this circle, instead of having all these different lines, it actually has one line. And that one line is 10 inches long. And that is a specific area of your life. So the reason it was able to get 10 inches long is because your energy and attention all went on that one area instead of all these different little areas. So that's what I'm learning on how to actually make progress to a specific area of life. And that's the way that I plan on going about being really good at one thing and making my line like 10 inches. And then once it's 10 inches, then I can sort of start to focus on another area. Then I can try to grow, put my energy and attention on another area. And the business line, it may start dying down a little bit because my energy and attention is not there anymore. But it's a different way to look at it than trying to do a little bit of this, trying to do a little bit of that. So I'm going to relate that to kind of like what my main message was in the beginning, that a lot of the things that we're doing are pointless. And it is like pretty harsh to say, but like the checking messages, the like spending time in all these different areas. Like, oh, I want to get good at this. I want to get good at this. I want to get good at this skill. I want to get good at this skill. These are all these different lines, and the lines are only growing just a tiny bit. But if we kind of transition into a different mindset and try to pick one area and grow the line a lot, then that's actually how we're going to get really good at that area of life that we're working on. So I know it's kind of general, but hopefully that makes sense and you can get like what I'm talking about with the circle. The circle is our energy and it's us, and the lines are the different areas of life. And the lines are how we choose to spend our energy. So that's the question, is how are you going to spend your energy? Because we only have a limited amount of energy. We all wake up and we all have a the way that I view it is an energy bank. And the way you just like we have a bank account, you have a certain amount of money in your bank account and you choose how to spend that. Well, just like the bank account, we have an energy bank as well. So we wake up and our bank is full of energy. But when you start doing things like looking at your messages first thing in the morning, when you do things like check your email, when you do things like get the coffee, when you do things like go on a walk, yeah, some of these things might be productive technically in the sense that you're doing something, but you have to realize that you spent energy doing them. and it's taking away from your energy bank. And the more you spend throughout the day, the more energy you're spending. Like the more activities that you do, the more energy you're spending. If you call a friend, you just spent a little bit of energy. If you scroll through social media, you just spent a little bit of energy. And the reason this is important is because you might be spending this energy, and the more you spend the energy on things that are not your goal, your bank is going to be less and you'll have less energy to spend on your goal. So therefore, you're going to be making progress in different areas, and the your big goal, the line, the amount of progress you make is going to be less. So hopefully this makes sense. I wish I kind of had like a diagram to show you, but hopefully you could kind of get that picture of the ball. And again, I'm borrowing this from Sam Ovens, and yeah, just try to get that picture in your mind of we want to conserve our energy. This ball is like our energy bank, and we want to use it for one area of our life and get really good at that. And the more we focus on like all the other different areas, we're spending our energy, which is okay. It's a fine way to live, but you do have to realize you're making a trade. You do have to realize you do have a limited amount of energy. So you can choose, do you want to be just a little bit good at everything, or do you want to be really good at one thing and then start to be really good at another thing, then be really good at another thing? So hopefully this all makes sense and you could kind of get my message. But yeah, if you got some value out of this, hit that like and subscribe button. And I do now have a free school community, and it's a place where you can go and learn a little bit more about managing your free time and network with like-minded people. So it's free, and you can check out that in the link in the description. So thanks for watching, and hit that like and subscribe button.